When you, Dimitri Sentio. And our project is about the improvement of the handling end-of-life batteries for electric vehicles. So before we get into our project specifically, let's look about the background of what's going on. How many of you here believe in global warming? Most, right? That's good compared to Donald Trump, who doesn't, and would think of the definition as a hoax. But global warming is a problem that in these days is very evident. The ice in Alaska is melting. We have fires in California. There's droughts. Temperatures are rising. We have a big problem we have to deal with. People are concerned about it. But now, one of the industries that's more responsible for global warming is the automotive industry. It's responsible for 30% of greenhouse gas emissions, and people are looking ways to limit their emissions. One of the industries that's booming because of that is the electric vehicle manufacturing. People are buying more and more electric vehicles. Companies like Tesla, Ford, Nissan are profiting huge. So we have identified that, and we saw that the electric vehicle industry is something we have to look into. But one problem we identified is that the electric vehicles have batteries that last from 6 to 8 years. These batteries after that are no longer operational for electric vehicles, and we have to find an alternative source, what to do with them. So now we come into our project, and we have to answer three main questions. Why do we care? We care right now because we only have 55,000 batteries that are not longer useful for electrical vehicles. However, a Bloomberg study showed that by 2025, we're going to have 3.4 million batteries that are not longer operational. So now we have 55,000, but by 2025, we're going to have 3.4 million, which is a huge exponential increase. Why do we care? Why should we be focused? We care because there's two main problems here. These batteries are made from chemicals that are very hazardous for the environment. And these, we can't just take these batteries and just dump them in a landfill. If you take these batteries and dump them in a landfill, the water streams under the landfill may get polluted by these minerals, which can pollute entire populations and cause many people to get sick. So that's one problem. That's one part why we care. The second part why we care is about because these batteries, the raw material are very expensive to create, to take out of the ground. And just dumping them out just increases the problem even more. So what do we do? And that's where we come in. We have to find an end-of-life management strategy to take all these batteries we're talking about and have a very good operational use. So moving on to our project goal and objective, we have to make, and we made an optimal decision-making tool for end-of-life batteries that's going to focus in two areas. The first area is going to be to maximize the economic aspect of it, how these batteries have an extra economic value after they're done with their operational use for electric vehicles. And the second aspect is to have to do with the environment, how we minimize the harm to the environment because of these batteries. So now we have two objectives for this project. The first one is to make a forecasting tool that's going to show us when are these batteries going to start becoming non-operational. Our forecasting model is going to have three main outputs. The first output is the time, as I just said, when is this problem happening. The second is what quality is batteries coming out. There are three stages, as my teammates are going to present to you after, of these batteries, grade A, grade B, and grade C. And our model is going to show us the condition of the batteries after they're not operational anymore. And the third one is the quantity, how many in each specific time period. And the second objective we have is to make a 3R strategy decision making that's going to show us what should we do after these batteries are no longer operational. We're going to have to either recycle, recover, or reuse. And Jerry is going to talk to you more about the batteries and how we do this 3R decision making strategy.
So before I give you guys the detailed information about 3R, I'm going to introduce the general EV battery structure. So the first level of EV battery structure is a pack. As you can see from the pack, it consists of many small modules, and those modules will be the second level. And inside those modules, those are the cells, and the cell is the third level. So moving on to the 3R definition and classification. As Dimitri mentioned earlier, 3R are reuse, recover, and recycle. So reuse is a method that when a company get those return EV battery, they will just directly reuse the whole EV battery pack into other electric vehicles. So recover is just to disassemble the battery pack into modules and replace those low capacity modules with the higher ones in order to recover the whole pack capacity. So as for recycle, there will be two categories. The first category is to recycle the raw battery material, and the second category is to disassemble the battery pack into modules and use those modules in some other areas such as energy storage.
I will talk about the overall flowchart of our projects. We identified 4 stages. The first stage is literature review. We read about hundreds of papers to understand our topic, to understand how is EV battery work and what's the current strategies of companies to deal with the end-of-life EV batteries. And then moving on to stage 2, we collect sales data from the most EV model in the US from 2011 to 2018 and focus the demand in the next 5 years. And also we collect warranty, capacity, and also the degradation rate of batteries data. And based on this data, we are moving to stage 3, which is forecast the return rate by year or quarter or month. And use simulation and probabilities analysis. And based on the return information, we are moving on to stage 4, which is optimize the 3R strategies. And for now, we are right here at the beginning of stage 3. So to achieve our project goal, as Dimitri mentioned before, we have 2 tests. This is a visual representation of our test. Let's focus on test 1. So test 1 is forecast model of EV end-of-life battery return. The first step is data collection about the sales and the degradation rate, and which we have already done. And this figure shows the remaining capacities over the years of the EV batteries. We can see for the first 5 years, the remaining capacity is about 80%, and for the next 3 years, there's gonna be another 10% capacity deduction. So in general, one EV battery's life is about 8 years, and the lowest capacity is about 70%. And based on that, we identified 3 grades. Grade A is from 80% to 100% of the remaining capacity of the return batteries. Grade B is from 70% to 80%, and grade C is lower than 70%. And we're gonna input the Poisson distribution and the degradation rate, and also the sales into MATLAB. And this is an example of the output that we expect to see. So we have the prediction EV batteries quality, quantity, and also the time. And let's focus on test 2.
So in test 2, we will have 3 stages. The first stage is forecasted end-of-life battery returns. And in this stage, we will have the forecasted return battery quality and quantity, which is the percentage of battery with grade A, grade B, and grade C capacity. So in the second stage, which is 3R optimization, where we will consider the quantified cost and benefit of reuse, recycle, and recover. The last stage is economic strategy, for where we will eventually get an economic-based decision-making tool that indicates the optimal 3R handling for each remaining capacity grade A, B, and C.
So I'm then talking about some techniques and tools that we're going to use to complete the task mentioned by my teammates. First of all, we're going to use some probability theory, more specifically the Monte Carlo simulation. Don't be confused, we won't be taking a trip to Monte Carlo, unfortunately. But we will use this to eliminate the uncertainties in our forecasting model. Regarding our forecasting model, we will run a discrete event simulation, most probably through MATLAB, which will help us forecast the return rate of the batteries. Additionally, we will be using some optimization methods, more specifically some integer linear programming, which will help us in the decision making of the 3R strategies. All of this is easier said than done. I can guarantee you that. We were encouraging some troubles. All data contains errors, and when we were looking at the sales reports from the manufacturers, we were finding some inconsistencies. Building the forecasting model will also be quite complicated. We've all had some experience from programming through the courses in Northeastern, but we are no experts. We don't expect our models to run from the first time, and we're preparing everything to be able to deal with all the inefficiencies that we will be experiencing. Finally, there will be some complexity in doing the economic analysis. To be more specific, it's going to be very difficult to quantify the cost of the 3R strategies. Moving on to the next slide, I'm going to discuss some future work that's going to be completed during Capstone 2. For the first weeks of the semester, we're going to be building the forecasting model, and this is essentially the first task of our project. As soon as this is completed, we're going to be able to move to the second task. For the first part, we plan on spending about 4 weeks building the model, and as soon as the model is running, we will use the outputs to plan a strategy for the handling of EV batteries. After we have the strategy, we're going to apply the profitability equations to optimize the decision making in the handling strategy. We approximate this task to take about 5 weeks. We're trying to complete the project as early as possible so that we have enough time in the end to further improve and complete the project essentially. Any questions?
That looks like really good stuff. Have you thought about the need that more towards the end to do sensitivity analyses, because you're going to have a lot of uncertainties, modeling uncertainties in the data, almost certainly uncertainties in the profitability models. So you're going to want to kind of play with those. And have you kind of built that into your plan, or is that part of what you were talking about having some extra time at the end?
Yeah, that's something we're going to focus on then. We have 2 main tasks right now. We have to code the whole thing, which is going to be pretty complicated. The second one is to have like economic strategy. After these we're going to see how our results compare to estimates from like Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has like reports that do Tesla, and they say how much electric vehicles. So that's like a KPI we're going to use. We're going to use our results to compare with other analysis that we've done. So then we're going to see if our results are very different, then we're going to do a sensitivity analysis.
I had a question and a general comment. The general comment is I wanted to point out something that you guys did really well at the beginning of your presentation, and that I always tell my teams, and is what is the bigger picture, right? What is the broader impact of what we're doing? So it's great that we try to increase utilization and reduce wait times, right, and all of that. But how what is the big picture, and how are we impacting in a positive way that big picture? So I wanted to congratulate you from that. And then what I didn't get very well from your presentation is how do you plan to measure like the success of your project? Of course, we can't solve, right, the huge, it's not to stop global warming, right? We can't do that with just this project, but how do you plan to measure success?
Sure, so here is a big picture. That's a good question, and that's not something we were thinking of including the KPIs, but we'll figure out someone's going to ask. So we have 2 options right now. One option is to take the batteries and just throw them inside like a landfill, which is basically we get nothing, that's complete zero. But our recycling and their reuse and their recovery is going to put economic value in the chain, right? Because the recycle, somebody makes money out of that. So basically we're going to compare the zero amount of doing nothing and just storing them or throwing them away to the value we add in these 3 processes.
Have you guys already considered like what type of economic profitability analysis you're going to do? I know past research has shown that recycling these batteries is very, very expensive. That what used to be the common thing was to throw them out cheaper, right? Now that there's more social pressure and all those other things, it's kind of like being considered kind of like an added cost of polluting. How do you guys intend to like implement that into your profitability ratio?
The thing is, before that, we need to find out how to quantify this cost, because like it's not easy to find data regarding how much it costs to store a battery in a landfill or to disassemble it to the different cells and packs depending on the strategy we're gonna use. So this is the first step we're gonna make, and as soon as we have this data, we're gonna use this to to basically minimize the cost, which would and maximize the return on the return of profits after we have implemented the 3R strategy.
And something else, these batteries cost lots of money. Like a car, electric vehicle car, the price ranges around $40,000 US, and the batteries alone is 10,000. So even if like we have end of life, we still have a lot of money because like 4, 5, 6 grand. So it's not like just throw them away, we just lose all the amount. So yes, it's gonna cost a lot of money to recycle or disassemble them, but still it's much more than just throwing them away.
And we will get a lot of benefits from 3R as well.
Yes.
For like the grade A and Z classifications, do you guys give any of those, or does something get determined based on like how do you know what classification is better for?
So during our research, we found out like the capacity higher than 80% will definitely most of the things could be in reuse. But we are gonna consider what's the percentage of reuse, recycle, and recover in grades A, B, C as well.
So like the 38%, the data that you got like tell you how much?
No, it's like an average, because the degradation of the battery will be different. It depends on the model, depends on the temperature, depends on the driving mode.
So other companies, just to like complete that, so other companies have different standards. For example, Tesla, after 80%, they're no longer operational, right? But GM is 70%. So we read lots of articles and saw how different companies tackle this issue in a different way. And based on all what we read, we made our own classifications and previous studies as well.
I'm gonna stop you there, but you guys are done. There was one more question up
Yeah,
here, so
like-
well, we're gonna not talk to it now, but you guys asked the question. So you can talk to him when you're done, and you can also talk to me. I have a question about how to get in forecasting information, so we're gonna stop there.